Yo, what is up, guys? We are here with another weekly reset Tuesday, September 17th. Today is a huge day in the WoW community, so we're going to talk about a few things that are upcoming, a few things that have been happening, and yeah, let's just dive right into it. So what I wanted to look at first is nerfs to a couple different classes, some buffs towards a couple different classes, so a bunch of class tuning, and I'll kind of recap it pretty quickly and just see how it's affecting me, how it's affecting other players, you know, that kind of thing. So what we're looking at first is this is all going to lead into the class changes. Heroic, New Bar Palace, DPS rankings, end of week, Queen, and Direct balance. So what this is basically saying is showing the DPS for the Queen for the last boss, and showing Fury Warriors being insane DPS wise. So if we look at this, Fury Warriors sitting at the top by a large margin, and even in some groups, I see Fury Warriors doing like double the damage of the next DPS, just because their cooldowns line up so well with each pack. I mean, you know, that is a thing that to be looked at. Maybe, you know, nerf just slightly, but as much as they did, it's kind of disappointing to see. Just strictly because of other content, because in raid it's really good on certain things, but in Mythic Plus, man, I mean, you have it up every 1 minute and 30 seconds. You have Bladestorm for a little more with the new Slayer, hero talents. So seeing this nerf is a little upsetting, but it needed to be done in here because of how much damage it was doing. So hopefully it doesn't change too much in like Mythic Plus, like I said, and really in PvP. But the nerf is seeing something. I would have appreciated maybe like a 5% nerf, because they're, I'll show you what they're giving them, but a 5% nerf just to all damage and not touch the other spells. But you know, the spells that are doing the damage are the ones that they nerf pretty heavily. So I see both sides of it, right? And as a Fury Warrior main right now, it's you know, obviously I'm going to be a little upset about this and turn about this. So, and then here's the damage to bosses, so specifically to the bosses themselves. Arcane Mage doing crazy again. They've seen a nerf, you'll see in a second. Arms Warrior doing actually really good, and that's kind of normal for Arms Warrior. You know, they do pretty good on the usually a single target straight up boss damage. And if you see here, just straight up damage period, Fury Warriors at the top. Okay, so they're trying to just kind of bring that down a little bit, I guess. Let some other classes shine. You know, give Fury Warrior their 1 to 2 weeks that they had, 1 week from in raid, so thanks, I guess. And that's that, you know. And you see actually a lot of them playing the OP classes, because that's just how WoW works. And here's the tuning. So here's the additional tuning we'll just look at first. So they added this stuff. Arcane Mages receiving a nerf to some of their powerful damage abilities. And the Fury Warrior all ability damage 3%. And that's not it, guys, don't worry. A few other changes. I don't really play through some of these classes. Again, I'll just look at the big ones that I've been noticing the most. Sandlane Death Knight getting a little bit of a buff. Apparently it's still not the best, but you know, something to check out now. Good that they're changing it a little bit, but apparently it needs a little more help than that. Some bugs for Demon Hunter, cool. Druid, seeing some balance changes is really nice. Some balance buffs. I heard that's not doing too well. I was playing some PvP though the other day and got destroyed. So Starfall damage not in PvP content. That's nice to see, because I got kind of wrecked against some balanced druids. Let's see, Feral. We got some Feral damage increases. Again, got wrecked by Feral in PvP. So I mean, that's gonna be pretty crazy to still play against and still see myself getting wrecked. Resto Druid seeing some increases. Resto Druid just actually needed some help. I heard that was not doing too well. Again, this is all from the grapevine, things that I've heard. I haven't played them myself, but I figured I'd talk about them anyway. Some mage changes. This is good. Some Arcane Sun Fury mage changes for reducing some damage by quite a bit. I know this talent seems to be pretty nuts. This hero talent, and some fire increases. Nice. Monk Mistweaver increases. Nice. That's good to see. Again, just trying to get more of the more healers into the game, other than the ones that we see a lot of. So reducing holy healing, but then increasing their damage is kind of cool to see. And that's kind of playing into the most I've seen holy in was when I played a lot of Shadowlands, and they were disgusting with damage in Shadowlands. So that's going to be cool to see that kind of replay with how much damage they're getting increased here. So that's gonna be pretty cool. Let's see, shadow damage increased by 6%. That's cool. Again, more changes on these classes that you don't see much of right now. So hopefully it gets them played. Outlaw Rogue is doing pretty crazy. Same with enhancement, so seeing some nerfs there. Resto Shaman, some damage increase. That's good. Okay, so their healing is pretty nuts right now, but then giving them some damage increase is going to be really cool for I mean, just doing damage, right? Let's see, some demonology changes. Cool. Some increase of damage and destruction. All right, a couple different abilities. Warrior, trying to make Colossus in there, and Mountain Thane had their stuff increased. Wow, okay, for What is this for? Just in general? So tank and DPS, that's going to be nice. Maybe try it for Fury, since we're getting a little gutted in some things, but it's not the end of the world, I don't think. And then Blade Storm just all around has been reduced. That makes sense. Again, it was kind of one of our main damaging abilities and coming up quite often. So seeing that is you know, it was bound to happen. Who am I kidding? But seeing this on top of the 3% was like, oh, come on, the cherry on top. Let's see, Blade Storm reduced, Odin's Fury reduced by 15%. That's quite a lot. Odin's Fury is up a little more, and you know, you're still gonna run it in all the AoE stuff. So we'll see what changes with the week. And then Mountain Thane increase, so that's cool. Increases Bloodthirst and Rampage damage by 20%, so 5% increase to that. Fury Mountain Thane's already pretty good. I've only played it a handful of times, and it's really good just for strictly AoE for like longer mobs. So this might see some play in like higher M+. But I mean, with just outright damage, Slayer's going to be just far better. So we'll see how that works. The only thing in PvP that I really want to talk about is Preservoker, and they reduced the healing of Living Flame, and Disintegrate no longer deals increased damage. So they essentially nerfed Disintegrate by 20% in PvP content and reduced Living Flame by 20% in PvP content. Evoker Preservation was disgusting. I only did PvP this week for my tier token, and if they had an Evoker on their team, it's just GG. Like, you just lost. There's a few other abilities that's not these two that were kind of wrecking us still. But maybe that's just the class. I'm not sure, but it was pretty gross. Okay, and some other crazy changes that we can look at. You guys can look at if you guys are into that PvP stuff. So there's that. That's enough talking about the class changes. Let's go on to the race. So the race to World First is going to start today. Okay, so if you guys want to see coverage on that, here's a cool place to go. I'll link all these tabs I've been clicking on in the description. But here's a great place to go to check out all the live streams. So there's obviously the few that you've seen, and you know, I've always just, you know, clicked on Liquids, clicked on Max's stream, clicked on, you know, the Echo stream, just clicking on those streams and seeing what's going on with kind of everybody. But here it allows you to see all of the guilds, so all of the guilds that are really going for that world first title and competing. You can go here, you can scroll down and see all the different guilds. So here's some of the NA guilds, the European guilds, the Asian guilds. So all kinds of guilds going on here, and there's also other sites that'll just showcase them. If you're like doing some Mythic Plus here and there, you can go on Raider.io and check your score or whatever. There's usually a picture, or not a picture, but links to the streams here too, and Warcraft logs. That happens quite a bit. This Dungeon Dojo I've never heard of myself, but it seems like another place you can go to check out the coverage. So that's gonna be cool. So a lot of places to go if you guys are into that. It's a great side monitor content. You can just put it up on your side monitor and see how people are doing, cheer on, pick a team, cheer them on, have a good time doing that. Some other things going into the season, of course, Mythic Plus starts today. There's some great videos out there about the affixes. I'm not going to go over them, but go check those guys out, those videos out. I believe Tettle's just made a great video on explaining all the affixes, and I just watched that one and it was awesome. So I know what I'm doing for season 1. Go watch those videos. They're really helpful, because again, all the affixes are changed. But what I wanted to point out is this is a great tool, because I've been doing this here and there, but it's really good because it's going to save you some money. So the Dragonflight consumables are really cheap right now. And some of them work the exact same way, which maybe is not intended, but could be. It has to be, because they still work right now, and they probably would have fixed this before. But these consumables are working just the same as the new consumables. So the Feralhide drums are a lust drum. Pick those up if you're DPS, just in case you come into a group where there's no lust, and you can have at least 15% haste for everybody every 10 minutes. And then Potion of Hush Zephyr, this is just an invis pot. You definitely want these, especially, if you're pushing a little higher content. And it gives you the same time too. Like if you look here, 12 to 18 seconds, this is just based off the quality, and here 18 seconds, it's just because it's quality 3. So they do the exact same thing. You're not going to lose anything, and you're going to save tons of money, because these things on the right just cost way more because they're using this tier's mats, and these guys aren't costing a lot because they're using last tier's mats. So potentially a way to make a little bit of money, but they're not going to be too expensive. So you could, if you were expecting these last season, hey, still make them. You can make you a couple extra bucks, because people are definitely going to buy these. I will be buying these. Same thing goes with all the pots. So like the battle pots, if you want to use those, they're significantly less in DPS, obviously. But at least you're using something, right? So if you guys want to go on there and get them, just the flasks, the files, the healing pots, not the healing pots, the regular pots, you definitely want to use this year's healing pots. The damage pots, you can use all of those for Mythic Plus, because might as well. I mean, having a little bit of a buff compared to no buff at all is going to be beneficial to you. And there's some dungeon buffs here. For Mythic Plus, just a few different things that you can talk about. So it's basically going over the different buffs you get for professions or races or whatever you are. So here we have tailoring in Arakar, we have rogues, priests, and engineers, and City of Threads, Stone Vault. Just assume that these all give you some sort of percentage buff for a little bit of time. Stone Vault warriors, dwarves, and blacksmiths. Misaturna Scythe, druids, night elves, taurens, and herbalists, just like it was back in the day. Necrotic Wake all rolls. So this used to be a thing where you had to be a specific covenant. Now you can pick up all these weapons. These weapons are pretty good. And that's about it. That's it for this weekly reset, guys. What we're gonna do is we're gonna post also a video of the weekly vault. So we're gonna get that started. I see a lot of people do that, and I loved watching those videos, so I'm gonna make them myself and post them just so you guys can watch more stuff on the YouTubes while you're opening your vaults or getting excited for this week of Mythic Plus. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Appreciate you guys. You guys have been great. My videos have been doing pretty well, and I'm so happy about that. I'm so glad you guys are enjoying them. It's kind of a new thing for me, so we're gonna continue doing this stuff because it's fun. I'm having a great time. Hey, see you guys later. Have fun. Deuces.